Yes, good morning, students. Today we are going to see about the address translation, that is the ARP, address translation protocol. Another one we are going to study about the DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol, and the next one we are also going to see about ICMP, internet control message protocol. Now, the purpose of using this address translation, okay, so why you have to use this particular the address translation. So as you know that the main goal of using ARP is to enable each host on a network to build up a one table of mapping between the IP addresses and the link level addresses. Is it clear? So as you know that whenever the packet you wanted to forward into that particular network, even though if you take it into the local network only, okay, so the packet is going to be containing an IP address, that is the source and destination IP addresses will be there, and if you want to forward that particular packet to the destination address, the IP address is there, but the network is going to carry these particular the IP packets, and these IP packets are embedded inside the frame. Is it clear? And that frame is going to contain the physical address of the sender and the physical address of the receiver. Now you know the logical address, that is the IP address of that particular the destination source or the receiver, but you doesn't know what is the physical address. Okay, so you cannot forward simply the packet, but packet has to be embedded inside the frame, and the frame is going to be travel in the network, and it has to be reached to the particular the destination. Okay, so for that each host which are presented in the network, we are going to maintaining one table. So that table is going to contain for this particular IP address. So this is the physical address of that particular host. So whenever you wanted to forward the IP packet, you are just going to see it in the that table. Okay, so I want to send this to this particular IP address. What is the physical address? So you are going to refer the physical address and put it into the physical address into the frame, and that frame is going to be moved into the network, and it will travel in the network, and it is going to deliver to the destination. The frame is going to reach to the destination, and when it reaches over there, inside that frame the packet is going to be presented. So the receiver machine is going to receive the packet. This is the thing here which it is going to be happen. Now the question here it is going to be raised, that if the host doesn't know the physical addresses here, okay, so at that time, so what the host has to do, okay, how the host should get the physical address of that particular host to whom it want to send a packet. So at that time, so this address resolution protocol is going to be executed. Is it clear? So this address resolution protocol, okay, what you are going to do, so in this the address resolution protocol here, what you are going to do is that you are going to create one the query message. In that query message you are going to put the target IP address, and then you are going to forward it into the network, okay, by asking that okay, to whom this particular IP address belongs to. Okay, so to whom this IP address belongs to. So everyone who are presented in that particular network, they are going to receive this query message. Okay, and then the node to whom this particular IP address belongs to, that is to whom this IP address matches, immediately that host is going to send a response message. Okay, so in that response message it is going to put the link address, its physical address, and it is going to send back to the originator of the query. Okay, now the originator is going to receive this particular the information and add the information contained in the response to its ARP table. Now the query message also includes the IP addresses and the link addresses of the sending host. Is it clear? So in this way this process is going to be continuous here. In the similarly it is just like that, the simple example I just wanted to say that, okay, in the classroom, if someone that is arrives into that particular classroom, and they are going to say that okay, HOD is going to calling a rule number 1. Is it clear? So what the class teacher is going to do? Class teacher is going to be asked, okay, who is rule number 1? Okay, so HOD is calling you. At that time, what happens here? All other the students who are all presented over there, if the person is going to, if the student say that okay, madam, I am a roll number 1, then what happens here? All others who are presented over there in the class, all others are also come to know that okay, yes, he is a roll number 1. okay, and his name is so and so. So all others are going to update their particular information in the table also. Similarly here, whenever this ARQ queries messages are transmitted, broadcasted here, all other are going to check that, okay, if okay, whom this particular IP address belong to. At the same time, the response is going to be come by that node, that is to whom that IP address matches. So at that time, so this message is also received by all the nodes which are presented over there. So they will also come to know that, okay, for this particular IP address, this is the physical address to whom it belongs to. So they have got the knowledge, and they are also going to be updated into the routing table. Okay, so this is how you people know that the physical address of the host whenever you wanted to forward the IP packet by executing the ARQ algorithm. Okay, so that is address translation protocol by executing a ARP algorithm. Okay, so the next one here we are going to see about another one, that is a DHCP. What do you mean by this DHCP? DHCP is a dynamic host configuration protocol. Is it clear? So what is the purpose of using this dynamic host configuration protocol? The purpose of using this dynamic host configuration protocol here, it is that how you are going to configure the host which are connected to the network. So here you are having two methods are there. One is manually you can configure. Okay, so manually you are going to assign the IP addresses, whether you are going to use most of them we are going to following the class C IP addresses, that is a 192.168. Okay, so changing that is 0.1, okay, 0 up to that, that is the network 198.60.0 and .1. So you can change from last 1 to 255, maximum you can connect it to 250 computers. So in this way manually you can configure the host. Okay, in this way you people are able to connect the computers to the network. So if large number of computers are there and large number, the different n number of networks are going to be presented, so instead of going for manually, so everyone wanted to go for automatic configuration. Is it clear? So to reduce the workload for the network administrator, automatic configuration will be there. So how this one is going to be done? In the network you are having one particular the server called as the DHCP server will be there. So each host which it wanted to connect to the network, they are going to send the message over there. Is it clear? So they are going to send a message. So DHCP discover message is going to be transmitted. So this DHCP message is having a special IP addresses that all are, that is 255.255.255.255. So this is to this special IP addresses, this DHCP discover message is going to be forwarded by putting this IP addresses. Now the server which is presented in this particular network is going to receive this DHCP discover message, and the host which is requested for that IP address, it is going to process it, and the IP address is going to be allocated to the particular host. Okay, this is the thing here which is going to be happen. Now the problem here it is that, so it is not physically that is feasible that each network should contain one DHCP server for assigning this particular IP addresses and all. So for that, so what they are going to do? So there is only one the DHCP server which is presented outside somewhere else in the remote location. Is it clear? So now what you are going to do, in your each network there is a one particular agent. Okay, so this agent here we are going to call it as a relay agent. We are going to call it as a relay agent. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that particular the diagram. Okay, so you just see this diagram here. Okay, so you are having one particular the relay agent here. Okay, now what happens here is that, so this is the Ethernet here. So in the Ethernet there is a one particular host which is going to sending the DHCP discover message, and it is broadcasted here. All the nodes which are presented in this particular network is going to receive this, and similarly along with that there is a relay agent is also going to receive that. Okay, so the relay agent is going to be working on the half of this particular DHCP server. Now what the relay agent is going to do? Only the relay agent knows that what is the actual IP address of the DHCP server and how to communicate to that. Okay, so now the DHCP server is going to send the unicast message to the server. Okay, somewhere else the DHCP server is presented, and through this particular the network, DHCP relay is going to communicate with the DHCP server. DHCP server is going to give the the response and send back the message which contains the IP addresses. So now once again the DHCP relay, after receiving this, on the behalf of that, okay, the receipt server, it is going to once again broadcasting that message. Okay, this is your IP address. Now you can use this IP address for communication. Now DHCP relay is going to sending back the message to the host which has broadcasted the DHCP the message. Is it clear? That is a discover message which has been transmitted by the host. Okay, once the host is going to get the reply from the DHCP relay, now it get IP addresses and this IP address is going to be updated. Okay, so this is how it is going to be worked about a DHCP, that is the dynamic host configuration protocol. Okay, so I hope this concept is going to be cleared. So every network relay agent is presented. Relay agent knows that where the DHCP server, the IP address of DHCP server, on behalf of that host is going to send the query message. It is going to receive the response from the DHCP server. After receiving, DHCP relay is going to forward this particular message to the host who has sent the request. Okay, once the host receive the message, it is going to get the IP address and then it is going to connect to the network. Okay, so this is all about this particular the DHCP server. Okay, now the next one here we are going to see about the ICMP. Okay, there's the frame formats are there. You just refer this particular the frame formats. Okay, so this is all about the DHCP. Okay, now the next one is a ICMP. What do you mean by this ICMP? ICMP is nothing but it is an Internet Control Message Protocol. Okay, so this ICMP is going to define a collection of error messages. Okay, the messages what you people are going to get it when you are going to connecting to the network, when you are transmitting that particular packet, the number of that errors are going to be happened. But how you know that, okay, what type of the error has been occurred in the network, whether your packet is reached or whether you are connecting to the network or not, is it clear? So there are different types of the problems may be occur whenever you are connecting to the network. So it is the job of that ICMP. So it is going to give you the error message, what type of the error has been occurred. Okay, so that's why it is going to define a collection of error messages. Okay, these error messages are sent back to the source host. Okay, so whenever a router or the host is unable to process an IP datagram successfully, what is the reason? Okay, what is the reason why they are unable to process an IP datagram successfully? What is the reason behind that? So that error message is going to be reported by the ICMP. So that's why they are going to be called as the error reporting protocol or ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. Some of the examples are there for this error messages. What of the error messages you people are able to get it whenever you people are facing the problem in processing the particular the IP datagram or connecting to the network. Okay, so some of the examples are that destination host is unreachable. Is it clear? Whenever you want to connect to the particular the host in the network, okay, so you people are going to using one particular command called as a ping command. With the help of that, you wanted to check that whether the destination host is available or not. If it is available, that 64 bytes of that the data, it is a response you are going to be get it back. Okay. So if you are not able to get any response, so a message will be given that is the destination host is unreachable and TTL has reached 0. Why your packet is not processed? Because the time to live of your particular packet has reached 0. So that's why your packet has lost in between, it has not been forwarded. Okay, so your packet has been not delivered because, okay, so, because the IP header checksum failed here. Your packet is not accepted because the checksum value is used to identify the errors. So IP header checksum is failed. Next one is that some of the control messages that a router can send back to the source host. Okay, say for example, ICMR redirect tell the source host. Is it clear? So that is ICMP redirect. This is used. Okay, so this is used to tell the host that there is a better route to reach to the destination. Okay, you can use this particular route to follow the forward the packet. This is a better one. Okay, similarly there are the different types of the messages are going to be delivered by the ICMP. Okay, so this is all about the error reporting, that is the internet control message protocol. Okay, thank you very much.